People are lying to you. People you trust are lying to you. People you think are trying to help you are still lying to you. As a junior developer, of course, you have to rely on other people to help teach you things that you don't know. So you can't just ignore everyone and assume that everyone is lying to you. After all, despite all the lies, there are still a lot of good people out there trying to help you navigate this path from junior dev to hopefully a senior dev. But I want you to be aware of 3 very common lies, or maybe misconceptions, that are often given to junior developers. But not only will we talk about the lies, we'll discuss how, if maybe you've already bought into them, you can still move forward and you can still win as a software developer. Hey junior devs, Dev Mentor Dave here, helping you bridge the gap from learning to code to launching a successful career, because I am one of the good guys. So why would people who are theoretically trying to help you grow your career and build a skill set, why would they lie to you, or why would they misrepresent information? Oftentimes I see this from boot camps or other career training facilities, especially in their marketing, because what they're trying to do is, first of all, sell a product. They want you to buy what they're selling. But secondly, they're trying to encourage you to do something with your life. Sometimes it's just another friend or family member who's just trying to help you move forward and help you get something great out of life. And they know that this would be a great career path potentially for you. Sometimes they're just repeating what they've heard from somebody else and they don't really know any better. So while it may not be some big conspiracy, we need to understand what the truth is so that we can spot the lies, and if we've already bought into them, we can learn how to actually move forward and still be successful. I encountered this first lie when I was teaching an adult learning class, basic HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and WordPress. What I found interesting is that we had people from all walks of life. We had older people and younger people. We had people who had used computers before. Some people had never really messed with computers hardly at all, maybe only at school or something like that. So we had a very wide variety of people and experiences coming into this classroom, all trying to learn how to become a junior developer. What we realized early on is that we actually had to take a step back for a large group of the class and really go over some basic computer skills. Go over, how do you open a web browser? How do you open a code editor? What is a code editor? How do you actually run the software? How do you set up a GitHub account? What is a GitHub account? All of these things that really you should be able to pick up fairly quickly were very much a struggle for a large percentage of the class. And I don't say that to pick on the people that were in the class. In fact, I had a great time teaching all of them, and hopefully they had a good time learning from me. But the problem is that they bought into the lie that anyone can learn to code. I know it seems like an obvious statement that not everybody can learn to code, but it is amazing how many people get sucked into that thought process, get sucked into that lie. No, maybe it's not out there blatantly stated, but really that's the idea of a lot of boot camps and a lot of training facilities. Their goal is to sell you their training. And so they're going to do everything they can to get you to believe that you actually can become a junior developer. So maybe if you've bought into that lie, how can you verify if you should continue? How do you know if you can actually be successful as a developer? Well, the best way that I've seen is to take a development aptitude test. There are actually quite a few online. Some are free, some are paid. Some you might have to sign up for and get a bunch of spam email. I'll actually put some links to several down in the description of this video. So take a look down there if you'd like to take some coding aptitude test or software development aptitude tests. And what that's going to do is it's going to tell you, hey, are you the type of person? Do you think the way that a developer should think? Do you reason the way a developer should think? Do you have the aptitude, the ability to learn how to code, and then to take that learning and to move it into a successful career? After all, that's really what we want to do. So there's no reason to go to a boot camp or go to a training facility if you're not taking an aptitude test that's going to help you know if this is something that you actually can do, because despite what the lie says, not everyone can learn to code. So hopefully you take some time, check out those tests down below, and see if development really is a good option for you. But let's move on to the next lie that you're going to have to contend with. Several years ago, I was working as a contractor for a company here in Kansas City. And that was a large project that had a lot of different developers and multiple different teams. And I actually got moved around to several different teams while I was there. But it was on that job that I was actually, for the first time, introduced to another junior developer. Now, at this point, I was a senior developer, both in number of years and in experience. And so this was the first time as a senior developer, I had interaction with a junior developer. This was somebody that just came in from a boot camp. And I remember very distinctly one day I was sitting next to him and he leaned over and asked me for help in understanding how to go about doing the ticket that he had been given. Now, it was a pretty simple ticket. It was basically build a button, and when you click on it, have it do this thing. So there was not a lot of functionality that was involved, and it was not a difficult task. But as I sat there and I interacted with them and I kind of talked through the ticket, I just kind of worked through the different steps, and I asked him, what do you think is the next thing that we need to do? He had no idea. He couldn't think through the process. He didn't know what needed to be done next. He had gone through the boot camp. He had taken the course on HTML and CSS and JavaScript and jQuery. jQuery was a specific thing that we were dealing with at the time. And so he had all the training. He'd gone through the boot camp. He'd graduated from the boot camp, and yet he really wasn't job ready. And that's the second lie, is that when you graduate from whatever career learning center you go to, whether it's a boot camp or some other online tutorial training course or something like that, you're really not going to be job ready. Now, this is a lie that they actually do tell you. Is it possible that some junior developers come out of those boot camps and they're ready to go? Absolutely. There's absolutely people who just need a little help and they can understand it. They can learn it on their own. They can grow on their own, and they just come out and they just shine. But let's be honest, most people are not like that. When you come out of boot camp, there's a high probability that you are not going to be job ready. So if we're not really going to be job ready, how are we supposed to win with that? Well, you're not going to like the answer, but basically it's do more work. See, the boot camp or the training facility, they only have a certain number of hours a day or a week or a month where they can actually instruct you, where they can actually interact with you and help you. The majority of your learning is going to be on you. You need to be able to learn things on your own. You need to be able to learn what's being told in the classroom setting and then take that home and at night go through and work through all those things over and over and over again until it becomes natural, until it becomes something that you just do, until you are actually job ready. And here's the key. If you will do that, if you will put in the work, I know it's not fun, but if you will do it, you will be more job ready than the vast majority of junior developers out there vying for those different positions that are open. So you know you can learn, and hopefully you've gotten through a boot camp and you've put in all the extra hard work and you've really gotten to a point where you're now job ready. Well, there's one more lie that you need to know about. And unfortunately, I see the reality of this lie every single day on my LinkedIn profile. I just scroll through LinkedIn and I see junior developer after junior developer after junior developer with the same exact problem. I see posts like this. Hey, anybody have any advice? I've been looking for a job for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months since I've graduated boot camp. This is a common theme for junior developers right now in this market. Most of them are having a very difficult time finding a job. And that's the third lie. It's that there are tons and tons of jobs available for junior developers. Now, the reality is that there is a huge need for developers. The problem is not all of those positions really are open for junior developers to apply to, nor are all of those companies really looking to hire junior developers. In fact, even in the recent upheaval of the job market, where it seemed like people were jumping around from one job to another every other day, it was mostly mid and senior level developers who were making all the changes. Not really a lot of junior developers coming into new companies. So if you know the job market for junior developers is slim, how are we going to win? I see two areas that we can win. The first is being able to talk about everything that you have learned and everything that you have done and everything that you have worked to understand. Be able to talk about the areas of failure and the areas that you learned from that failure. Be able to talk about areas of success. Be able to show things that you have done, not just the silly things that you did in boot camp, but a real project, something that you're working on, something that you're passionate about. You need to show that you are different from all the other applicants applying to that junior level position. But another option that most people don't even think about or consider is looking at the job market before you get out of boot camp. What you're actually looking for is not to see how many junior dev jobs are available, but look to see what other jobs are out there that may not be specifically what you learned. See, a lot of boot camps are pushing out the same thing. They're pushing out the exact same developer, a front end or maybe full stack JavaScript, HTML, CSS, JavaScript framework developer. They're all pushing out the same thing, largely React. If everybody's pushing out the same product, everybody applying to these jobs are going to be applying to the same jobs. So what you want to do is find a different job that more junior devs are not going to be applying for. For example, look for a Java job, look for a PHP job, a .NET job. Now, does that mean you might have to put in some time learning another language? Probably, but if you do put in that effort, there are fewer people vying for those jobs than there are vying for the other ones. Hey, if you find this information helpful, could you click the like button so that YouTube will send it to more people and we can help others avoid these lies? So those 3 lies again are: anyone can learn to code, you'll be job ready when you graduate, and there are tons of jobs out there. You'll get hired right away. Hopefully you haven't gotten sucked into those lies, but if you have, it just takes a little bit of perspective and a little bit of hard work and a little bit of savviness when you're looking for a job, and you can move forward and actually win as a software developer. Speaking of lies junior developers believe, there's another very common one regarding GitHub and how you should use it in your interview process. Check out this video to learn the most important thing you need to change in order to get your GitHub portfolio to work for you. Thanks for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.